Okay, five,
Take
four,
three.
three, take three, third time's the charm.
Yeah, that's right.
And live.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining us here on Tabletop Simulator with Lore Second Edition. We're super stoked to have you here, and I'm just going to show you what one day in the game of Lore is like. Normally the game goes 3 days, but we just wanted to give you a solid overview of what we've created here. Just so you know, this is Josh speaking. Made the game and got Joseph here with me, who helped me co-create this version, and we're just super excited to have you here.
Yeah, good to be with you.
All right. So I am the princess. Joseph's going to be the knight. Yeah, let's go here. So, do you want to break down how this game starts out, Joseph?
Yeah. So on our character boards, you'll notice each character plays slightly differently. There's 8 total. Each character has one unique ability at the top. They have some varied starting traits and a starting location. You'll see just below the knight's feet here. I start in a leaf place, so a wild location. Josh is the princess, starts in a settled location. There's 3 location types, and you'll see that as we play. But I'm gonna start on the map in one of the wild locations. I'll start just way up in the north in the abandoned fort. It seems fitting for a night. Looks like Josh is starting in the castle, which is a bit cliche. Yeah. So the one last step before we jump into the game, I guess the two other things we'd call out is what are we doing in a competitive game of lore if you've never played it before? In competitive, we're trying to score as many points as possible. So we've got integrated scoreboard here. So as you complete quests, you can be marking off points, and then it's a bit of a point salad game as well. So a lot of the things you do are giving you points. You'll see these icons off to the right. So the orange crown is relics, taking lore actions with you points. Your renown, which is your fame for completing quests, helping others, and defeating monsters is going to be worth points. And then the money that you have is worth points. So point salad game, we're trying to score as many points as we can. And then lastly, before we get started, each player is going to start the game with 2 quests. You pick one to keep. I'm going to go ahead and reclaim the forest. The knight's in the art. I gotta do it. And then each player also in competitive starts with a solo motivation. So basically a secret scoring objective. Only I know. It's a way for me to score at the end of the game. I'm gonna keep the secret and just keep that in mind as I play. Now, Josh, take it away. First turn. It's dawn of the first day. This piece is gonna move around as the day progresses. But go ahead, Josh.
All right. So here I am, princess, starting off here, center castle. Days have 3 phases to them. If you look here at the quick sheet we have here, first order of business is you can travel or train. So I can move to one location in any direction the borders touch. If you don't move, you can train and get +1 in a trait available to your location. So there's 3 types of location in lore. There's settlements, there's wilds, and there's mystical locations. Depending on which one you're in, if you train in them, they'll train the trait that corresponds to them. So settlements train your might, wilds train your mischief, which is green. The mystical locations train your magic, which is blue. So for me, I'm just going to hang out and I'm going to train, which will, since I'm in a settlement, will train my might. And then we go to our second phase, and this is the action phase. So there's 4 actions you can take. We're going to break through this playthrough. We're going to break down each of them as we take them. There's a lore action, treasure hunt, dueling action, and if you're in a settlement, you can visit the shop. There's also empowered actions, and they kind of like power up all the different actions you can take. We'll get into that as we get to each of those actions. But for right now, I'm going to do the shop action, and we're going to go to this board right over here. There's 3 abilities you can purchase, and I'm definitely going to purchase one. Let me check out the inventory real quick here. Got intuition, expertise, and teamwork. Ooh, I like teamwork. All right. I'm going to go ahead and buy teamwork off the bat.
And so each player is going to start the game with 3 gems to give them the ability to buy an additional ability, right? They cost 3, then 5, then 7 gems.
Also, there's a unique merchant that is at the shop, and there's 7 of them total. Right now we got the Charmsmith. Can spend 4 gems, and we can draw the next enchantment from the event deck, or I can spend 6 gems to get a relic. Maybe he crafts one for me. And I don't have any gems, because I just bought that ability. So I am not going to hang out with the Charmsmith, but I am going to draw 2 quests and pick one. So when you visit the shop, you'll be able to draw from the quest deck. This is where you go to the tavern, talk to the shopkeeper, and they tell you about all the exciting things happening in the world. So this is where you get your quests in this game. Let's see here. So I drew Free the Hostages and the Sphinx's Riddle. I think I'm going to take the Sphinx's Riddle this time around.
Keep it simple. Nice.
Yeah, so let's talk about the third and final phase. Yeah, this is my favorite phase too. Yeah, so if your location corresponds to the correct time of day, so I'm here in the center and you'll see that there's the sunrise for dawn, and it's dawn right now, you can draw an event card. So go ahead and take the top card off the event deck. You can have 3 at a time. Oh, sweet. And I got a companion too. This is perfect for my teamwork ability. This worked out.
This was not set up, for the record.
Oh, this is so rad. Princess with the cat knight. This is perfect. All right, I'm really loving this game. All right, cool. All right, and that concludes my turn.
Thanks, Josh. So actually, I'm in a unique situation. So the way you complete these quests, right? You start at the top and you go down. Most of them you fulfill an action and then you will mark it off with a token. You just step down. Some portions of quests require location type, and you just need to be in that location to fulfill that. So with Reclaim the Forest, I in fact immediately fulfill the first portion because I'm in a wild location and the first portion is wild. So fun way to start.
Oh yeah, he totally set this up.
Yeah, that's I guess maybe. What I'm gonna do on my first turn is I'm just going to let you be the events guy. I'm going to actually travel in this direction. I'm going to go over to the mystical location, this enchanted forest, the temple, and that'll be my travel. I have 1 travel distance, and then I'm going to go into my main action phase, which I'm going to take a treasure hunt action. So we take the treasure hunt action, your mischief increases, and you will roll 2 treasure dice. And again, any action can be empowered by spending 1 renown, which is also like spending 3 points to take it. So I'm going to first, if I'm going to take a normal treasure action, I would increase my green, and then I take 2 of these treasure dice, and I roll them, and I just gain the amount of gems that are on it. I'm actually going to go ahead and take the empower treasure in action because I have a gambling problem, and I'm going to roll the special treasure die, the relic die, which has more gems on it, as well as if I get that orange face, I get a nice relic card, which I'm going to show you regardless of how this roll goes. Of course, I did not get it. I got 6 gems, which feels good, but it could feel better. But let's take a look at a relic card for the sake of showing you guys the game. If I had rolled a relic, I would have gained this, the magic lamp. You can have as many relics as you want. You just place them alongside your character board. There's 3 things to look at here. Relics are worth points. If you have them at the end of the game, you can at any point in the game play the relic to gain whatever is there. And usually always they'll give you traits. So they'll give you either, on this case, like a big +3 to your magic, or in the magic lamp, it gives me +2 to any of the traits. And then each relic has a little secret that, once you've done a certain little quest or something, it has. So in this case, if I ever have 6 magic, I will place a token on this and I get 1 renown. So they give you they give you another outlet to score when you have these relics. I'm going to place this back on and shuffle it up. That's relics. That's what you can get when you do a treasure hunt roll. That's the end of my turn, Josh. You can go because I do not draw an event because I'm in the sunset area and it's done. So we've both gone. Now the time of day is going to move on towards daylight. And it's Josh's turn.
All right, so starting on my turns, travel or train. I'm actually going to use my ability as a sky princess, and my ability is I can travel from any settlement to another settlement. So I'm just going to use my awesome sky ship, and I'm going to fly over to this lighthouse over here up top. Sweet. And I'm just hunting event cards at this point. That's why I flew over here, because the time of day matches. Now for the action. I'm going to go ahead and take a lore action since it's the namesake for the game. So the way lore actions work is you're going to take one of your player cubes and put it in the lore board. And I'm going to put it right here. And you start a lore card. Now, you'll see that the lore, you can put it in any spot you want. I'm going to pick this spot and I'll explain why in just a moment here. So the lore board has 3 different slots, and each slot is a different scroll. So we have the scroll of power, which is where I put my card, the scroll of navigation, and the scroll of commerce. So if you get 3 or more cubes into each scroll, they give you a little bonus in addition to the lore card presently there. So for the scroll of power, if you have 3, it'll actually increase your power when you battle monsters. If you use scroll of navigation, it'll add to your movement, and the scroll of commerce will make everything in the shop 2 gems cheaper. Pretty awesome thing once you get it going throughout the game. Now, since I just took the lore action, normally that would end it, but I just want to explain what an empowered lore action will be. So if I take another lore action and did it empowered, I could
let's throw some extra cubes on there, Josh. Let's just say the board's a little bit more developed, right?
Yeah. So let's say I put my cube right here. We flip the card over, and card flips over. You get the effect immediately on it. So this one, it'll give +1 to our red trait, and then has a passive effect of when you complete a quest, you gain 1 renown. But for now, it flips over, so I would increase my red trait by 1. And since I took an empowered lore action, I can also, after the fact, move my token to any other scroll I choose. So I'm going to move to this one, and it would flip this card over, effectively flipping this one back. And then because I'm the only one right here, effectively in this scroll, I get the bonus for this card. So I get to bump my blue trait by 1. And as long as this card is face up, I'm going to get the passive effect of this card as well. So I get to ignore monster auras, which is pretty cool. We'll get into that when we do, but that is how an empowered lore action would work. So you get to take your lore action, and then you can move your cube to any other spot you choose. So it can get really handy late game if you want to get certain effects from different scrolls, or kind of switch up what you're invested into, or maybe you just like the passive effect of one of the lore cards and you want to switch it up that way. That's how an empowered lore action would work. So let's go ahead and just reset that for now, minus my traits.
And then at the end of your turn, you'll draw an event card.
Yep. So
what you get this
time. Let's see what I got this time. Sweet, got the Sky Kingdom. That's very fitting for. I'm getting a storybook playthrough right here. This is awesome. These are kind of special events. People who played the first game, there were different fields with beautiful illustrations from Paulina, and we just kind of wanted to play homage to that. And we put some of the locations into the event cards, so you'll still be able to visit some of your favorite fields from the first game. But we'll get into more of that later. Let's just go ahead and get into more of the actions and
absolutely. So that's the end of your turn. I'm gonna go ahead and go, Josh. Here, I'm gonna move up and hang out. I guess I'm doing a little balancing act here. Cool. I will. So I'm tempted to take a duel because it could let me progress my quest here. The Mandrake, you can see here. We'll talk a little bit more dueling when one of us duels, but each monster has times of day, and this is consistent with the first game, but they have a time of day when they're strong. So if you look at the top of the monster card, those are the traits of the monster. And the Mandrakes, when they're getting their sunshine, they're a little bit more buff. So at dawn and daylight, they get a +2 power, which is a pretty substantial buff, especially in the early game. So I did get all these gems. I'm gonna go ahead and take a shop action as well. So I'm gonna go to the shop here. Spend 3 gems to purchase Inner Peace. So this gives me power if I don't have a companion, which I am loner for now. And then so that's 3 gems. And then I'm going to spend another 5 gems, which is the big guy, to purchase Expertise.
All right.
So you can purchase as many abilities as you want, as long as you get the money.
You're like a monk knight.
Yeah, now I'm pretty buff. Expertise copies the ability to the left of it, and so then again interact with the merchant. I only have 1 gem left over, so this Charmsmith is going to remain. Or when you take a shop action, regardless if you deal with the merchant, they will get shuffled to the bottom. And then the last portion, again, I'm going to go ahead and grab a quest. We're going to shuffle this quest deck because Free the Hostages has come up a couple of times. I'm going to go ahead and just take this Guardian of the Ancient Secrets. Strong. And then again, time of day matches, so I'll take an event card. And I have a red elk, which breaks my Inner Peace. So when you get a companion of certain event cards, most event cards will tell you, when they can be played. So in this case, Sacrifice can be played when a player loses a duel. And most of them have specific cases when you can play them. Companions can be played whenever, even when I just gained it. So I'm going to do a couple things here, and this is perfect because this is one thing we wanted to showcase for you guys. So right now, I'm in a location with Josh. So when you're in an area with another player, you can help them with their quests. Besides monsters and quests, this is a good way to gain renown, is helping other players. And so if you haven't already helped them with one of their ongoing quests, you can take like the next action in their quest. So you can't fulfill location ones, but you can do other quest portions. In this case, to start the Sphinx's Riddle, Josh needs to play an event. Well, I just got an elk, which is a companion card. So I'm going to play the elk, and this is a little bit funky, but the order of the stack, and this is something we've got clarified in the rule book. I'm going to play the red elk, which means I'm playing an event card, which lets me say I helped Josh get the Sphinx's Riddle started, or the elk did. I don't know, but
red elk gave me a hint.
He gave you a hint. He showed up out of nowhere, and then he just sprinted out of there. But I helped you. When you help another player, you get 1 renown. So 3 points for helping Josh start his quest off. And then playing the red elk actually is going to let me travel. So I'm going to move 1 additional space. I'm going to do this because this is fitting with my character and where I want to go right now. Sorry, Josh, for maybe a bigger turn, but
no, worked out.
Where one of the things I wanted to show here are hidden paths here. So, we've been just moving across while Josh took a ship up here, but you usually just move across the border to the different locations or along these solid arrowed lines in the direction of the arrows. But you'll notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4 hidden paths. These are locked until a player unlocks them. So in order to unlock them, you have to be in a location to it with which it's connected and travel across it. And you spend 2 of any trait, right? So I need to spend 2 of any trait. I'll spend 1 green and 1 blue. I'll spend 1 mischief and 1 magic. This is now unlocked. Now any player can use it, Josh included, but because I'm the one who unlocked it, I get another renown. And so the red elk and I are running across the waves to the docks, and one more thing is the knight's ability +1 travel distance when I use the hidden path. So kind of a gangbuster's turn to do a big loop, but I'm going to go into the castle. All right. Yeah. So that was a lot, but I think that showed a lot of what we wanted to show you: hidden paths and helping with other quests. So yeah.
That was a beefy turn, man. That was sweet. All right, man. How do I keep up with a turn like that? All right, so start out here, travel or train. You know what? I am going to go ahead and take that hidden path. Go ahead and go here, wilds, which marks off this part of my quest. And, I want to complete this quest, so I'm actually going to go ahead and take a lore action. I've got to bump up my trait the last turn, so I'll go ahead and do it again right here. Sure. And this one flips over. Sweet. And it bumps up my blue again. And that completes the Sphinx's Riddle for me. So when you complete a quest now, you'll see here on the bottom that you can gain a renown or gain points. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and take the 5 points, but maybe if you've been doing a lot of empowered actions, you'd want to gain renown, and renown becomes a lot more important in the single player game as well. So that might be another reason why you'd want to do that. But for now, I'm just going to take the 5 points, and I'll just move my QB over here.
Gotcha.
Sweet. Already got me out. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. We just flip this over, and you can keep it to the side. We encourage you just keeping your own discard pile, and if you're with the right play group at the end of the game, you can kind of tell your story of all the quests you completed and characters and events that you've interacted with, if you're into that. So do my lore action, and we look at the event. Nope, doesn't match. So that's my turn. So
awesome.
Take the wheel, man.
All right, we've got 2 turns left. Well, I got 2 turns left for the day. I'm gonna go ahead and take a treasure hunt action, which will start off my Guardian of the Ancient Secrets quest, and I'll spend a renown to do the relic again. Come on, son of a gun. Okay. I've got my motivation is part of this. I'm trying to get these big gems, these extra points. But I did not get the relic, tragic. But I started my quest off, and I'm also still in a settled location. And forgive me, I also forgot a portion of my turn. I just went right into the action because I was thinking about it. I did. I completely forgot to travel/train. So I was going to go ahead and train. And again, I'm in a settled location, which means I train my red, my might. So I took the treasure hunt action, which increases my mischief. And then event phase, I got nothing. It's dawn. I'm in a dawn location while it's sunset. So that's the end of my turn. It is now night. Josh, take it away.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and train here. So I'm going to bump up my green or my mischief. And I'm going to get spicy and I'm going to do a duel. I'm going to duel this witch. This witch is super spicy right now because her aura is activated. And you'll know their power by their 3 traits here: red, green, or the might, mischief, and magic. And the way the duels are going to work are you're going to roll 1 for the monster. That's this black dice right here. And then you can choose how many dice you want to roll. And we'll get into the pros and cons of that. For the sake of this one, I'm going to go ahead and roll 2. Now, this is a pretty risky duel, but for the sake of showing you guys how this works out, I'm going to risk it all against the witch with my cat knight here. Cool thing with my cat knight is when I duel, I can train. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, and shoot. Cool.
Nice. You low rolled for him.
That worked out perfectly. So the witch here got 1 plus her aura makes her a 3.
Well, keep in mind, Josh, you ignore monster auras anyway because of the lore, so you were pretty safe all along.
I was stressing. I mean, I knew that the whole time. I
totally
knew that.
Master
was a test.
strategist.
Passed. That's good. So just so you guys know how this duel worked out, witch rolled her red and she got 1. Super awesome that I had this lore active, but just for the sake of showing you how it adds up for me, you pick between one of the dice you rolled. Let's just say she had a beefier number. I'm going to go ahead and pick my blue, which gives me 5 power. And then we go to your abilities. All your abilities always just give you a flat +1. So I get +1 from teamwork. And the ability is that my companions get +1 power. So then we go to our companions here, and he gives me an additional 1. But because of teamwork, he's a +2. So altogether, I have 5, 6, 7, 8 power. So yeah, this wish is totally vanquished. And when you defeat a monster, bottom here, you'll see the wager. And you can pick either 2 gems or 2 renown. If you lose to the monster, then you'll have to take the wager. So you'll have to lose 2 gems and 2 renown. When you beat it, you just pick 1. I'm gonna go ahead and do the 2 renown.
Yeah, take your witch.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, I wanted that witch. All right. Well played, I guess.
Oh, you got the Goblin Berserker. All right, no, that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. You can go ahead and you do get an event before the end of the turn.
For sure.
Oh man.
I got.
Keep them coming. You got 2 companions.
Yeah, I do. I don't know if gonna end it right here.
Yeah, the game's about to be over. So you can only have 1 companion at a time, just for the record.
So yeah, if you guys get into this situation, you can choose to play the companion you just got, or you can play your other companion. I like my cat knight. Something about a cat knight hanging out with the princess is just super charming to me. So I'm just going to play the Majestic Lion. And if you play him, you get to unlock a hidden path for free. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll do the hidden path connecting the castle. And I'll get an additional renown.
That's broken. Okay. Well done. All right. So my turn. I'm going to go ahead and move over to Josh. Oh, and Josh, your quest. Don't forget.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Played an event, which a companion. So now I'm going to go move over to Josh here. I'm going to take a dual action. Fortunately, I'm not going to be able to complete either of my quests this day 1, but I'm going to help Josh again. That's my plan here.
Snap.
I'm going to duel the Goblin Berserker, which is going to put my might up 1 more time. And then I really want to roll my red. So I'm going to roll 3 white dice and against black. And I think 3, 6. I think I almost automatically win. There's a way that this can work out poorly for me, but I'm going to spend a renown to take an empowered dual action. So when you take an empowered dual action, you're challenging the monster. You're saying, hey, you can fight me with your strongest trait and I'm still going to beat you, or so you hope. So you don't even roll for the monster. All right, he's a red is his highest, so he's a 6, so he's just going to be boom, he's red. And then I need to roll my dice and see if I beat him. If you beat a monster on the highest roll, either by an empowered action or if I just happen to roll the dice and it rolled red, then I could still get the bonus by beating it. But when you take an empowered action, you're guaranteeing yourself the bonus as long as you win. So I'm going to go ahead and roll my 3 dice. Hope that a red shows up. Okay, I got 1 of each. Beautiful. So that means I can use any of my traits. So of course I'm going to use red. So looking at my abilities here, 5 plus inner peace, which is 5, 6, 7, 8 plus expertise, which duplicates inner peace, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm pretty buff. This is a really strong combination, to be honest.
It's really good. You got that.
It's like the best.
That's great.
Anyway, so I'm handily beating him, even though this is his highest trait and his aura is active, so he is an 8 and I'm an 11. So I defeated him on his highest trait. I'm also going to take the 2 renown for defeating him. I think is 2 renown, 1, 2. I'm going to go ahead, Josh, and mark this off, which actually that's probably not a good. for
Well,
us
for
to
one
say
day,
the
probably not, but just for the
yeah,
sake
no.
of showing.
Yeah,
No.
you wouldn't do that on day 3 maybe, but it's still fun. So Josh, I followed you to the sunken castle and killed a goblin for you. So,
Sweet. I appreciate that. You aided
you're
me in the
welcome,
community.
brother.
Did you gain some fame for that? You
I
boost
got
your
some
renown?
renown. Yeah, yeah. I'm well liked. And then at the end of the duel, so I gained where did I put that guy? Yeah. So I gained my 2 renown for the wager, and the bonus is 3 traits. So I'm gonna buff up my magic. Maybe that guy has like a potion or something on it. Buffed up my magic, and then again, when a duel is complete, you do have to spend the traits that you rolled. So I rolled 1 of each. So the duel's over. I get a little bit worn down, and then that would be the end of my turn. And if they won, and that's lore. We do day 2 and 3. Not a ton changes between the days, besides the monsters getting progressively stronger, and then the day 3 monsters come out, and they're a lot tougher. So yeah, that's a game of
Yeah.
lore.
This is a pretty action-packed day 1. This is really cool. I hope this gave you guys a good overview of all the actions and kind of giving you a taste of what you're in for on an adventure of lore. But it would come out very different in a full game. But let's just go ahead and add up everything that we
Sure.
would normally add up for scoring, just for
Yeah.
the sake of showing you guys. So let's see here. Do you want to add yours up first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I failed to roll a relic twice, so no points from relics. I have no lore on the board, so no points from lore. I have 15 points of renown. That'll put me at 15. And then my gems, you do half rounded down. So I have 7 gems, which would be 3 points. And then lastly, my motivation prospect, I get 2 points for each of my large gems. So I got 2 more points. I have a feeling that lead is not going to hold.
Yeah, I had a pretty good run here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, completing 2 quests, day 1. Oh, I had some help. I actually had a lot of help. Thank you for that. So, my motivation was get 2 extra points for each monster I defeated. Defeated the witch here, so I'm gonna give myself 2 extra points for that. For my renown, I have 18 points.
Yeah, 32.
So you get 3 points for each lore cube you have, but if you have 2 in the same spot, you get an additional point. So I'm actually going to get 7 points for that.
Nice.
So what's that put me at? You were finagling with my cube.
You're at 39. I'm at 21. So a thorough
Oof.
shellacking. Oh,
Oof.
well played.
Well,
That was a good game.
yes, no, well played. I obviously had some help. He was helping me with my quest. So thank you, Knight, for that. That's very fitting for
Bet.
you to help the princess out. So, yeah. Anywho, guys, yeah, thank you for joining us this far, and hope that gave you a great taste. And we're just super excited to get this to your tables. Again, thank you so much for your support. And yeah,
Appreciate it.
all right, take care, everyone.
Peace.